Long before Silicon Valley and Hollywood, this land was home to dusty missions, gold rush boomtowns, and Spanish settlements that still whisper stories through their crumbling walls and quiet streets. Some of these towns are still alive, others are frozen in time, abandoned but unforgettable. In this video, we're traveling way back to uncover 10 of the oldest towns in California. From sacred missions to Wild West ghost towns, these places tell the real story of the Golden State's earliest days. And trust us, by the end, you'll never look at California the same way again. San Diego's where California's European story begins. In 1769, Spanish explorers led by Gaspar de Portola and missionary Junipero Serra established the first mission in Alta California, Mission San Diego de Alcalá. Perched above a dry river valley, it marked the start of Spain's long and often brutal colonial campaign across the West. The mission quickly became a base for religious conversion, settlement, and military control. Native Kumeyaay people were forcibly integrated into mission life, their cultures reshaped and erased in the name of empire. Yet despite the tragedy, what remains today is a layered landscape of preserved architecture and living memory. San Diego grew slowly, its coastal position making it ideal for trade, defense, and eventually tourism. The Old Town area, now a state historic park, gives visitors a rare glimpse into 18th and 19th century California life adobe buildings, dusty plazas, and all. Though now a booming city with biotech, beaches, and a border economy, San Diego's roots are humble and heavy. It's the beginning of California's colonial arc, the first domino in a story of expansion, faith, conflict, and resilience. Monterey might be quiet today, but in 1770, it became the epicenter of Spanish power in California. Founded by Portola and Father Serra just a year after San Diego, this coastal town was chosen for its natural harbor and strategic location. Within decades, it became the capital of Alta California under both Spanish and Mexican rule. Monterey hosted California's first theater, public building, printing press, and newspaper. It was here that early laws were written and presidios defended the coastline from foreign threats. The Royal Presidio Chapel, still standing today, is a vivid reminder of the city's spiritual and colonial legacy. Its cultural influence extended far beyond politics. Monterey was a meeting point, a place where Spanish settlers, native Rumsen, Ohlone people, and Mexican families lived, traded, and often clashed. By the time American forces raised their flag in 1846, Monterey had already shaped the region's identity. Today, Monterey is known for its serene coastline, the famous aquarium, and Cannery Row. But beneath the calm is a deep historical weight. This was once the beating heart of California governance and tradition. San Francisco was born the same year as the United States, but in a very different context. In 1776, Spanish colonists founded Mission San Francisco de Asís, better known as Mission Dolores, alongside the Presidio of San Francisco. Together, they anchored the Spanish presence on the farthest edge of their empire. The mission's goal was clear: convert and control. Native Ohlone peoples were drawn or forced into the mission system, laboring to sustain the outpost and adopting European customs under pressure. Still, the location was ideal: fog, covered hills, a strategic bay, and untapped resources. For decades, San Francisco remained a sleepy mission town. But everything changed in the 1840s with the gold rush. Almost overnight, it transformed from a village into a roaring gateway to the Pacific, fueled by fortune seekers and ambition. Today, it's a tech capital, a cultural hub, and a symbol of reinvention. But its origin story is rooted in something older, slower, and sacred: a mission on the edge of the world that would someday help shape it. Known today for its stunning ruins and migrating swallows, San Juan Capistrano was founded in 1776, the same year the U.S. declared independence. The mission built here was the seventh in California and became a central figure in the Spanish mission system. Mission San Juan Capistrano quickly became one of the most productive and architecturally significant outposts. Its Great Stone Church was once the grandest in Alta California until it was destroyed by an earthquake in 1812. Killing over 40 worshippers. The ruins still stand, silent and haunting. The town that grew around the mission remains small for over a century, but it has always carried a deep spiritual and historical weight. The annual return of the swallows, which migrate back to the mission each spring, became a local legend and eventually an international symbol of hope and renewal. Today, San Juan Capistrano blends modern suburban life with rich colonial heritage, and in its streets, missions, and festivals, the rhythms of early California still echo with every step. Long before Silicon Valley, there was El Pueblo de San Jose de Guadalupe, the first civilian settlement in California, established by the Spanish in 1777. Unlike missions or military outposts, San Jose was built by ordinary settlers, not soldiers or clergy. It marked a new phase in the colonization of Alta California, planting roots and building community. The original settlers were a diverse group, a mix of Spaniards, mestizos, and indigenous people from northern Mexico brought north to cultivate the fertile Santa Clara Valley. They farmed, raised livestock, and laid the foundations of what would become a sprawling urban hub. Though modest in its early days, San Jose's significance was clear. It became a vital food source for nearby missions and presidios, and its location made it central to trade and transportation. It even served briefly as California's first state capital after U.S. annexation. Today, the city is known for its tech giants and suburban sprawl, but buried beneath the startups is a story of early settlement, hard labor, and the quiet birth of California's civilian life. It's hard to imagine now, but the sprawling metropolis of Los Angeles began in 1781 as a small settlement named El Pueblo de Nuestra Señora la Reina de Los Angeles. Just 44 settlers, known as Los Pobladores, walked from northern Mexico to found the town along the riverbanks of what is now downtown LA. They were a racially mixed group, indigenous, African, and mestizo families, many of whom don't appear in the city's whitewashed founding myths. Their pueblo was tiny, agricultural, and almost completely forgotten by the wider Spanish Empire. But it grew slowly, steadily, and became one of the most important hubs in the West. By the time of U.S. annexation in the mid-1800s, Louisiana was already on a path of explosive growth. The railroad, oil industry, and finally Hollywood would turn this dusty outpost into a cultural and economic powerhouse. Yet, beneath the freeways and film studios, LA's origin story is one of diversity, resilience, and colonial complexity, a reminder that even the biggest cities start small and carry many untold stories. Few towns in California feel as connected to their past as Santa Barbara, founded in 1782 with the establishment of El Presidio Real de Santa Barbara. Built as a military outpost to defend against foreign threats and support missionary expansion, it quickly became a strategic jewel in Spain's Pacific plans. Just a few years later, the Mission Santa Barbara was founded nearby. Dubbed the Queen of the Missions, it still stands as one of the most beautiful and intact examples of colonial religious architecture in the state. Its twin bell towers have become iconic, drawing visitors from around the world. Santa Barbara's natural beauty made it desirable for settlers, but also deeply impacted the local Chumash people, who were brought into mission life and forced to abandon traditions and language under colonial rule. Their story, one of endurance and cultural survival, is a powerful undercurrent in the town's elegant facade. Today, Santa Barbara is a mix of Spanish Revival style, upscale living, and beachside calm, but it remains a place where history breathes and where the bones of old California still shape the rhythm of modern life. Sonoma is one of California's most unique historical towns, not just because of its wine, but because of its place in the state's revolutionary history. Founded in 1823 with the establishment of Mission San Francisco Solano, Sonoma was the last and northernmost of California's 21 Spanish missions. Unlike earlier missions, it was established during Mexico's rule, not Spain's. That alone makes Sonoma different, a town born during the transition between two empires. The mission served as a religious and military outpost, intended to extend Mexican influence into territories still under native control. But Sonoma is best known for its role in the Bear Flag Revolt of 1846. It was here that American settlers declared California an independent republic briefly before U.S. forces arrived and claimed the land during the Mexican-American War. That rebellious spirit is still a core part of the town's identity. Today, Sonoma is known for its vineyards and historic plaza, but its roots run deeper. Walk through the mission grounds or past the barracks, and you'll feel a sense that California's statehood started right here, among rebels, ranchers, and revolutionaries. When gold was discovered in the Sierra Nevada foothills, California's destiny changed overnight, and towns like Colombia, founded in 1850, were born from the rush. Known as the Gem of the Southern Mines, Colombia quickly exploded with miners, merchants, and fortune seekers hoping to strike it rich. At its peak, Colombia had over 40 saloons, multiple theaters, and even its own newspaper. It was a rough and tumble boomtown with all the noise, dust, and drama of the Wild West. But, like so many gold towns, its glory was short-lived. When the gold dried up, so did the people. What makes Colombia special is that it was never completely abandoned. It became a state historic park in the 1940s, and today, it's preserved almost exactly as it was in the 19th century. Wooden sidewalks, stagecoach rides, and costumed interpreters bring the gold rush era vividly to life. Walking through Colombia today feels like stepping into a time capsule, a living museum where the past isn't just remembered, it's still alive. Few places in California feel as frozen in time as Bodie. Founded in the 1850s after gold was discovered nearby, it grew into one of the most lawless, dangerous, and prosperous towns in the Wild West. By the late 1870s, it boasted a population of over 10,000 and a reputation for violence, vice, and wealth. Bodie was rough. Gunfights in the street, saloons on every block, and a graveyard that filled up faster than the mines. But it was also modern for its time, with telegraph lines, a fire department, and even a Chinatown district. It was a real city carved out of rock and ambition. Then, almost as fast as it rose, Bodie fell. Mining declined. Fires tore through the town, and by the early 20th century, it was virtually abandoned. Today, it's one of the best preserved ghost towns in the American West, protected in a state of arrested decay. Wind still whistles through its empty buildings, dust coats the old furniture, and every creaking door feels like a whisper from the past. Bodie isn't just a ghost town, it's a monument to how fast dreams can rise and disappear. California is often seen as a state racing toward the future tech, trends, and transformation. But hidden in its valleys, coastlines, and hills are towns that remind us of something just as important: where it all began. From sacred missions to gold rush dreams, from revolutionary uprisings to ghost towns frozen in time, these places carry layers of history that shaped everything we are today. And yet, we drive past them, visit them briefly, or forget they even exist, not realizing that each one tells a part of our collective story. Remembering where we come from helps us appreciate where we're going. These towns aren't just old, they're alive with meaning, with echoes of the people and cultures that built California long before it became the Golden State. Now it's your turn. Which of these historic towns is your favorite? Have you visited any of them? What did you feel walking their streets? Drop your thoughts in the comments, we'd love to hear from you. And if this video helped you see California in a new light, leave a like and share it. It might seem small, but it helps us grow and keep telling the stories that matter.